This is Darth Vader Unlimited, and as you see, I am en route somewhere. Thus, the TIE Fighter. But yeah, I just wanted to talk to you guys about The Mandalorian Season 3, Episode 3, which I said was the worst live-action Star Wars episode I've ever seen. And let me explain what I mean by that. I'm not saying it was a failure. I'm just saying it's the worst. Now, if I'm going to be objective, which I think I should always be, I'm going to give this episode of The Mandalorian a B minus. So I don't think it's a failure at all, but I do believe it's a B minus because the chunk of the episode isn't devoted to Mando or Grogu, but it's invested in characters that are really, really side characters that are very inconsequential so far. Okay. Plenty of things can be developed over the course of the season, and I respect where they were going. I didn't like the execution. All right. The execution of it was poorly done. I believe that when you have a series as kinetic as The Mandalorian, even when you have dialogue-driven scenes, which I love, like Game of Thrones is one of my favorite, well, between seasons 1 through 6, is one of the greatest television shows ever made, even though it was for HBO Max. All right. HBO, excuse me. But you can have dialogue-driven scenes that push the story forward. You can divert from the main story and have like a subplot, I guess you could say, without turning off or boring your audience. Several times I'm like sitting in my chair just like, is this over yet? You know what I mean? It's like Monument Square where the peak of Mount whatever was. It's like that fair. I'm like, wait a minute. She just said there were 1 trillion residents on this planet. Why is this open fair so sparsely populated? I'm like, why isn't it crowded? Why isn't it like Coney Island in New York City? Imagine a planet of New York City, the city that never sleeps, over the whole scale of the planet. A Cumanopolis, excuse me. I couldn't get the word right. That's actually a word. I didn't know that. So I always love being educated. But we have an Ecumenopolis and an open fair, and it doesn't look like there's many people there. So, like I said, like I need like the kinetic energy of The Mandalorian, even in something like that where you can divert. And this could really go to a great place. The sequence between Elia Kane and Dr. Penn Pershing. One gripe that I have with the story, okay? You mean to tell me that this republic, where they rename you and give you a numerical designation, they mind flay for therapy, they outlaw like research and cloning technology, and his purpose was for healthy organ transplantation. He said that was beneficial to both the donor and the recipient. So we're not talking about mean stuff. We're talking about cutting edge technology for the betterment of people's lives, and they outlaw. It's like all this censorship. This is like the government of Equilibrium with Sean Bean and Taye Diggs and Christian Bale, who's the star. I'm like, this is what Luthen Rail gave up everything to bring to pass? This is what Mon Mothma and Princess Leia and Bail Organa fought the Empire for, to create this mess? And can we just be totally honest? The ending scene where Elia Kane alters the settings of the 602 mitigator, which is basically a mind flayer. This is supposed to be a surgical procedure, a medical procedure. Why would a doctor or a specialist just leave somebody that doesn't have the same know-how as they are to keep watch? Why would he just trust her? This is a medical procedure going on, and they leave and just leave her there. That's stupid. That was stupid. And I even love the sinister part where she's like eating a biscuit afterwards. like that was really sinister. She's like, and personally, I believe Elia Kane, and I don't remember where her designation was, G648 or something like that. I think she's definitely working for Gideon. She's working for the Empire. She's not working for the Republic. And this could be a great way to segue into Delta Source. Not Delta Force, the movie with Chuck Norris. But there is an information like router is that the right word? An information router. But there was an information source that the Empire was using to steal inside information from the New Republic. And basically, it was a plant that would, it was like a genetically altered plant, Delta strain. Maybe it's called Delta strain. I don't remember the name of it. And it was set up right in the middle of the New Republic hierarchy's headquarters. And it was stealing all this information and sending it like in codes and in symbols to the Empire. And this is how Grand Admiral Thrawn in the Legends novels was able to pinpoint the moves of the New Republic and make himself look like a genius, even though he is a genius. I believe that if Elia Kane is a part of like this, almost like Hydra, how it infiltrated S.H.I.E.L.D. for years, decades, this could be a pretty awesome like staple in the story of how the Empire gives one last push under Grand Admiral Thrawn to reclaim supremacy. And that would be awesome if she was a part of this, maybe a newfound Delta source. All right. So that has been the week in Star Wars, and this is just my kind of closing arguments on The Convert, The Mandalorian, Season 3, Episode 3. Stay tuned for Episode 4.